Hello, I am Tom Hitchcock, aka Mr. Purple. Today I'm going to teach you one of my favourite recipes, and this recipe is the recipe for business success. For me, what makes a very, very good and successful business owner. So I've got my ingredients here. I'm going to do this as nice, as quickly and as comprehensive as possible so that everybody knows exactly what's required to be a successful business owner. First things first though, just like with any sort of hunger twang, to be a business owner, you must have some fire in your belly. Okay. There's something that defines an entrepreneur, and it's something that basically means it's a world that they can't avoid. It has a calling for them, okay? And you'll know if you've got this desire, whether it's for that sort of side hustle, to see an idea come to life. It could be just to be very successful, grow a hugely successful business is the stamp that you want to leave in the world. You'll know that defines you rather than having a job. So there's two different mindsets there, okay? But first of all, you must have that hunger. It's absolutely essential. Don't just do it because you think there's more money in it or there's lifestyle freedoms, okay? That's when you're looking purely at the results and the gains. And that traditionally is where things fail, because essentially being a business owner is not for the faint-hearted, especially in countries where there's a high cost of living, such as Australia. Okay, so we've got the hunger, we're determined that. So the first thing we need, and we need a big portion of this. I'm just going to pour this out. So it's a full, what's this? This is 1 teaspoon. Okay, a full heat, 2 teaspoons of Graft. Okay, now what I mean by this is the point where you roll your sleeves up and you're willing to do the work. Now, I'm a business owner, but I don't even have sleeves in this case. The graft is essential, okay? What we find a lot of is a lot of people that want the returns, they want the good stuff, they want everything to come their way, and willing to put little to nothing in to get there, okay? If you're not willing to lose some of your weekends, lose your bank holidays, lose your holidays, keep working past 5 p.m, sacrifice some friends' barbecues because you need to put stuff in it cannot go without, okay? Then being in business is not for you. The best way to think of being in business in this sense is it's 100% or nothing. So you could be very busy. You could say you put a load of effort into business and it didn't work, but you put 95% of your effort in because you still stepped out and still did other things at the same time. If that is the case, that's the reason why it's failed. Okay. So that transactional sense of entitlement, you must dissolve. If you're going to be a business, you're a business partner, you need to be 100% invested. You need to put in every opportunity that you can do to make it happen. You are the architect of your future, the business and people that rely upon you, okay? If you don't do it, no one else will, okay? So number one, that's the big one, 2 tablespoons of Graft. Next one, just 1 tablespoon in this case, but it's still very important ingredient, do you think? It is of resilience, okay? And it kind of sounds very similar to grass, but it is a bit different in this sense, okay? So resilience is when you least feel like doing your business, okay? There are so many opportunities to just give up. Just go and get a job. Go and do something else, okay? They're going to come. They're going to present themselves on a regular basis, if not even daily half the time. When you wake up, I really can't be doing this today. If you're going to be successful, you need to overcome those moments, okay? So the give-ups, we know they're coming. I'm going to fight you off. I'm going to do what I can do to deal with this. There's also going to be cadences to go and take the easy route. The easy route generally pays the least return on investment, okay? So be mindful of that. It tends not to align particularly well with a genuine entrepreneur. F&F, we call F&F, friends and family. Now, friends and family, love them to pieces. That can be a hindrance when you're running a business, okay? Generally speaking, they care for your work welfare. So if they see you stressed, a bit overworked, or have you, quite rightly so, they're going to step in and say, is this the best thing for you? Is this the right decision? However, that then induces the give up. scenarios as well. And it can really sometimes, there is a time to walk away, of course. Okay. But if you're going to be successful, okay, and you know you've backed the right horse, then the FNF in this case is not going to be helping you. So you need to be prepared for people talking you out of things. And in that same breath, you'll find that it is very, very lonely as a business owner, because the people that you do speak with, as a general word of mouth, general term, it's probably the best way of putting it, is that they don't understand you, they don't understand your business, they don't understand why you're doing that, why you sacrificing so much for such a little return. It's short-lived. Okay. That's a lonely space. All right. So resilience you must have baked into here to circumnavigate that. Number 3, I'm just going to do off half a teaspoon of this one, but it's actually really important. Excuse me. Half a teaspoon of open-mindedness. Now, open-mindedness is the opposite to closed-minded. It's really quite self-explanatory, but another way of saying you've got an open mindset is a growth mindset. Now, a growth mindset means you try new things, you're facing fears, you're dealing with your doubts, you're learning skills that don't really suit your personality or skill set itself. Okay, so open-mindedness is really important, and you need to be open to feedback, open to failure. You must be willing to fail. You must be willing to look at mistakes so that you can fail quickly and innovate as quickly as possible. Next one up, another half a teaspoon here of connection. So this one there is probably a bit overlooked when running a business. When you want to build a business, generally speaking, other people end up getting involved. The bigger it goes, the more people there are. There's a bit of a rule of thumb, if you like. Now, if people are going to join your business, they need to be attracted to you. There must be a real connection. They must believe in your project, where you're going, what your values are, what we're doing. If they're going to invest their time and effort, sometimes even money, they must feel connected to you. The same thing goes with clients who go and external. People get your tone of voice, they get your personality, they get your bit of humour, they get where you're going, they like you, they feel like you're part of your tribe. Okay, then you're going to go somewhere. Now, too often people hide behind logos, behind vanilla social media posts. They do everything on ChatGPT, which really doesn't constitute their tone of voice, and they're not willing to make mistakes and put themselves out there. There you're going to have very limited connection because no one really knows who you are. Okay. Now, the interesting thing is when you do put yourself out there and you tell people who you really are, warts and all your flaws and what have you, not everyone's going to like you. Okay. And that's a really good thing because it shows that you're doing something that is, you're displaying your USP, you're being vulnerable, if you like. But if people are not liking you, it shows that not quite your tribe, and you're putting yourself out there, you're doing the right steps. Okay. So don't beat yourself up. Not everybody can be in your tribe. Not everybody can like you. Not everybody can do business with you. You're not right for everybody. Okay. But they wouldn't know if we're just going out there being vanilla. Next one there is value. So this one I'm going to put in a whole teaspoon here. Smells good, this one. On value. Now, whether you're a service-based business, product-based business, we need to offer value. We need to be able to articulate value. What's in it for me? What's in it for them? Okay, this needs to be really clearly defined and put out there. We talk about this a lot in Mr. Purple, what we can do for our clients. We classify ourselves as a problem solver. Everyone's got problems. They bombard us with problems. We love these problems. We swallow them up. We find patterns. We look for solutions. That's the most important thing. Now, if we can wave a magic wand on those solutions for you, then we have value. Okay, we can only do that if you connect with us and have a conversation. So book us up when you can do. The other thing as well is to value your value. Okay, I do see a lot of providers, service providers, business owners out there that do not really charge what they should be charging for their services, and that's a shame. Okay, because there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes before you get to in front of a client as a paying transactional invoiceable client. Okay, so know your worth, Okay, and this isn't just about, well, I've done this and it creates that for them. That creating that actually has a bigger impact on the community. So do not desensitize yourself to your own self-worth. Accountability. Okay, I'm going to put half a teaspoon in of this one. It's down to your flavour though. Sometimes you can put a little bit more in, depends on your particular flavour. I'm just putting half a teaspoon of this one. Okay. So with accountability, you need to have this internal and external. So the idea behind accountability is you have this in your business plan. You need to have milestones and deadlines and times. Otherwise, you're not going to progress. This is essentially strategy. You can do this with your stakeholders. You can do it internally. You can do this externally. Okay. But ultimately, there's a contract with yourself and you need to hold yourself accountable. All right. Next one up is, I'm going to put a heap teaspoon here of communication. Okay. So you need to be willing to interact. You need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to share who you are and why you're here. But probably the main thing that's lacking with some business owners, especially in the startup space, is the inability to listen. Okay. The old adage, you've got 2 ears, 1 mouth. Okay. We'll stop that for now and we'll listen and we can hear what people are saying. We don't need to pitch everybody that we see. Okay. It's two-way traffic. All right. People will tell you what you need to hear, but you need to be willing to listen. Again, this goes back to the point of open-mindedness and looking for failures and feedback as well. Okay. On that note, any thoughts and feedback you've got on this video, please share in the comments below. If you've got my mobile number, text me, call me, meet up for coffee, and we'll have a conversation. I'll welcome all feedback. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this video in the first place. And the last one here, okay, is I'm just going to put a little pinch of this one here. A pinch of vulnerability, okay? Now, they say that authenticity sells. I agree with that. But that's quite loose. That's fine out there. I do question some people's authenticity. I think there's a lot of copied authenticity out there, or synthetic authenticity. However, vulnerability is a big one for me. Okay. So there is stuff that is slightly uncomfortable with, like for me, I'm looking at myself whilst I'm doing this. I feel quite vulnerable doing this. I've made little errors as I've spoken. And I don't like that, okay? But I accept I need to be vulnerable to put myself out there, to get myself in front of the right person at the right time who I can add value and they can add value to me, okay? That's the spirit of collaboration, by the way. That word that's also thrown around quite cheaply. But be vulnerable. Be okay to put yourself out there and say, yeah, guys, I don't quite like that, but I've done it and I own it. That's my sovereignty. Okay. But the main thing is with all of this, okay, I'm just going to give this a little stir now. I think so. Yes. Wooden spoon should have had this prepared before. Yeah, maybe give us a little stir here. Oh, this is good. Just bear with me. I'll get this ready in a moment. Okay. Do not do this on your own. Okay. As I said before, being a business owner is a very lonely place. People do not understand. You fall asleep thinking about your business. You wake up worrying about your business. You've got a million one things to do, and that to-do list just seems to completely grow. You need someone in your corner who's impartial, who's 1 foot in the business so they understand your business, 1 foot out so they can see outside the business for you. They need to hold you accountable. They need to reinforce your resilience, make you understand what your value is and help you connect with your customers. Okay. We do a lot of our business coaching and there's a few of us now, we're expanding, which is indicative of us doing something right. If you want to know more, then reach out to us today. Now, this is nicely stirred. Now I just want to go and see how we do with the final product. And here we are. Here's the final product. We've just baked that. In this case, I don't know if you see it, try not to spit it. We have a lovely Mr. Purple cake. And I cannot wait to eat this. You have the recipe for this. It looks delicious. The diet's out the window. I thought I was getting rid of the Christmas kilos. They're coming straight back on now. Thank you very much for your time. Hopefully that recipe is useful for you. And as always, reach out at any time.